Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Today, we're diving into a true piece of American muscle history, a car that didn't just roll off the production line, it launched itself into legend. I'm talking about the 1968 Dodge Dart GTS 440, finished in that sinister, glossy black that makes it look like it's ready to hunt on the streets. This isn't just another classic car review, this is a deep dive into one of the most outrageous factory muscle cars ever built, a machine that packed Dodge's biggest big block into one of its smallest bodies. Over the next several minutes, we'll explore everything from its bold exterior to its surprisingly comfortable interior, its raw and unapologetic performance, and of course, what something like this costs today. Buckle up, because this is the kind of car that defines the phrase, "no replacement for displacement." Exterior. Let's start with the exterior because one glance at this black 1968 Dodge Dart GTS 440 tells you exactly what era it came from. The 68 Dart carried compact proportions, clean lines, and a squared-off stance, but when you see one wearing the GTS badge with that massive 440 under the hood, it takes on a whole new personality. The black paint gives it a stealthy presence, absorbing light instead of reflecting it, making it look like a muscle-bound shadow rolling on four wheels. Dodge didn't go overboard with design gimmicks here, no wild flares, no exaggerated scoops, no flamboyant wings. Instead, the GTS kept things clean and subtle, which almost makes it more menacing. You wouldn't expect this little A-body to pack one of Mopar's most fearsome engines, and that sleeper aesthetic is part of the charm. Up front, the simple rectangular grille is framed by dual headlights, giving it a confident and focused look. The chrome bumpers shine just enough to outline the body's shape without feeling excessive. The long, flat hood stretches forward with purpose, and though the factory GTS 440s didn't come with a huge hood scoop, the slight rise and contour of the steel remind you that something serious lies beneath. Move to the side and the car's compact proportions become more noticeable, especially compared to the larger B-body Chargers or Coronets of the time. The Dart looks lean and tightly packaged, like an athlete ready to sprint. The GTS badging on the fenders is one of the few hints of what this car represents. With polished trim outlining the windows and the muscular stance provided by the rally wheels or classic Steelies, the whole exterior delivers a perfect blend of intimidation and elegance. The black paint, deep, glossy, and almost mirror-like, makes the car appear lower and wider, and when sunlight hits the curves along the rear quarter panels, you get a sense of just how well-proportioned this machine really is. Around the back, the rectangular taillights are simple but perfectly match the overall design philosophy, understated but effective. The chrome rear bumper and dual exhaust tips protruding slightly beneath it give you just enough warning that this Dart is not your average commuter car. With the black finish and the minimalist design, the 68 Dart GTS 440 looks both vintage and timeless. It's a visual definition of muscle, compact, intimidating, and powerful without relying on exaggeration. This is a car that doesn't need to shout to make its presence known, it just stands there and lets you figure out for yourself that it means business. Interior. Open the door and step inside, and you're immediately transported back to the late 1960s, a time when interiors were simple, functional, and honest. The inside of this black 1968 Dodge Dart GTS 440 doesn't try to overwhelm you with buttons or luxury. Instead, it offers a straightforward, driver-focused environment. The large vinyl bench or optional bucket seats are comfortable, firm, and supportive enough to keep you planted when the torque hits. They're wrapped in materials that have stood the test of time, both visually and structurally. Even after decades, the interior manages to maintain that classic charm. The dashboard features clean lines, with a symmetrical layout and large, easy-to-read gauges. The speedometer stretches across with big, bold markings, while secondary gauges for fuel, temperature, and amps sit neatly within reach. If this particular Dart comes with the optional tachometer, you'll find it placed where the driver needs it most, a helpful reminder that this car is all about performance. The chrome accents along the dash provide just enough shine to keep things visually interesting without becoming distracting. The steering wheel is large by modern standards, thin-rimmed, and full of classic personality. As soon as you grip it, you feel connected to the era, the road, and the machine. There's no electronic power steering here, what you turn is what you get, providing a raw, mechanical feel that modern cars simply can't replicate. The pedals sit high and firm, giving you direct control over the beast under the hood. Move your attention to the center console area, simple, clean, and equipped with what you need. Depending on the configuration, you may find a floor shifter for the 727 TorqueFlite automatic or a classic column shifter. The attention to detail in the stitching, the metallic trim pieces, and even the simplicity of the door panel speak to an era when cars were built solid, straightforward, and made to last. Despite the Dart being a compact car, the rear seats offer enough room for passengers, which is surprising given the monstrous engine sitting up front. The interior doesn't scream luxury, it whispers authenticity. It's the type of cabin that encourages you to drive, to engage, to feel every vibration and hear every mechanical movement. It's an interior made for enthusiasts, simple, honest, and completely unapologetic. Performance. Now let's talk about the part everyone is waiting for, performance. The 1968 Dodge Dart GTS 440 is one of the wildest factory combinations ever unleashed during the muscle car era. Dodge took their compact Dart and stuffed a 440 cubic inch V8 into it, a big block engine known for producing massive torque. This wasn't just bold, it was borderline insane, and that's exactly why the car became legendary. The 440 engine in the GTS produced around 375 horsepower and a monstrous 480 lb-ft of torque from the factory. But those numbers don't tell the whole story. Because the Dart was so light compared to other Mopar muscle cars, this power-to-weight ratio turned it into an absolute street weapon. It wasn't designed for comfort or gentle cruising, it was built to dominate quarter miles and embarrass bigger, heavier competitors. From a standstill, the Dart GTS 440 was practically ferocious. With the right tires and a good launch, the car could rocket from 0 to 60 miles per hour in the low 5-second range, unheard of for its time. Quarter-mile times often dipped into the 13ths right off the showroom floor, and with mild tuning, many owners pushed their cars into the 12s easily. The throttle response is immediate, raw, and violent in the best way possible. When you hit the gas, the Dart doesn't just accelerate, it lunges forward with authority. Of course, all that power came with its quirks. The massive 440 engine made the front end heavy, giving the car a nose-forward feel and affecting cornering. This was never meant to be a track-handling machine, it was built for straight-line domination. The suspension was stiff, the brakes, drum brakes, in most cases, required real effort, and driving it demanded skill and respect. But that's part of the magic. Unlike modern muscle cars with electronics to keep everything under control, the Dart GTS 440 makes you part of the driving experience. Every shift, every launch, every burst of acceleration is an event. The exhaust note is deep, thundering, and unmistakably Mopar. When you hear that big block rumble, you feel it in your chest before you even see the car. It's the kind of sound that turns heads from blocks away and reminds everyone nearby that they're in the presence of classic American power. Price. Now, let's talk about what a black 1968 Dodge Dart GTS 440 will cost you today. Prices for these cars have climbed significantly due to their rarity, performance heritage, and status as one of the boldest muscle cars ever produced. A well-maintained or restored example can run anywhere from $70,000 to over $120,000, depending on originality, condition, and documentation. Fully numbers-matching models or cars with exceptional restoration quality can push beyond that, especially in today's collector market. Project cars, though extremely rare, might be found for lower prices, but considering the value and rarity, even rough examples command strong money. The 440-powered GTS cars weren't produced in large numbers, making each surviving model a prized collectible. When you combine rarity with performance and the unmistakable Mopar legacy, you get a car that continues to appreciate year after year. And that wraps up our deep dive into the legendary 1968 Dodge Dart GTS 440 in stunning black, one of the most fearsome compact muscle cars ever built. From its sleek yet intimidating exterior, its classic and honest interior, its earth-shaking big block performance, and its rising value in today's market, this car proves that the golden age of muscle wasn't just about style, it was about attitude, engineering bravery, and raw, unfiltered power. If you enjoyed this review and want more in-depth looks at classic muscle machines, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss future videos. Drop a comment below and tell us what legendary car you want to see next. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.